So you may have noticed a growing number of travel centers expanding in the US with big store footprints and strong themed branding. So these travel stops offer an experience well beyond gas and soda. So today I'm at the new third Wally's with 53,000 square feet. We're in Whitestown, Indiana, right off I-65. To find out more what this new breed of travel center is all about, we're talking with Michael Rubenstein, President and CEO of Wally's. You're listening to Where We Buy. It's the show where we talk with retail experts and visit the places where we buy. My name is James Cook. I research retail and real estate for JLL, and we're live at Wally's in Whitestown, Indiana. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Thanks, James.
So we're here the day before the grand opening.
Yes.
You just gave me a tour.
Yes. Wally's is, we're known as our tagline, home of the great American road trip.
Love it.
And everything really has a very retro vibe. As you walk into the store, I think the first thing everyone notices is we have a 42-foot vaulted ceiling.
Yeah.
Clear story windows across the top. And what this does is it allows just a very open space, right? A lot of retail will have a 14-foot drop ceiling. And so on a big space like this, it would feel very claustrophobic. So with this open, we call it the vault area, it makes it feel nice and airy. We kind of break the store up into 4 different areas where our guests can go. We have our regular C-store, which is a massive, large C-store selection. We have our restrooms, which are really large. All of our prepared food, which is here in this middle area that we call the vault. And then over on this side where the Winnebago is all retail. C-store, you'll notice a lot of fun, bright colors, snacks, cold drinks, or fountain drinks. Everything that we private label, right?
Yeah.
Like this is our third store. And so getting that private label going is a big lift. And so as we're able to spread it out over more stores, we'll continue growing that.
I mean, you do tons of private label, right? Like,
we do tons of private
how
label.
many SKUs of private label do you think you have?
Man, I would have to check, but probably 100.
Yeah.
If not more. Yeah.
And the thought there, is that around branding, or are there better profit margins going with private label, or is it both?
Yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, from the branding side, we control our brand, right? Like a lot of retail C-stores you'll go into, all the vendors come in and they put up their displays and it's about them. And so we want to control the environment that our guests are walking around. And so having our own product allows us to do that.
Awesome.
And then on the profit margin side, as you get the economies of scale, not only is there a better profit margin, but also we can drive a lower, better value for our consumer. And so
Awesome.
I would say that's probably more important to us than just having a higher profit margin. So walking through the C-store, as you can see, there's a lot of things we have fun with. Our beer cave, which is typically a beer cave.
Beer arcade.
We call it beer arcade.
I love it.
So this is our Wally's beer that we had a lot of fun with. Basically, with the brewer that we worked with to private label it, they're like, well, what do you want it to taste like? We're like, we want it to be an elevated Busch Light, right?
Okay.
So like,
if I saw this, I would have guessed Miller High Life, something
yeah,
like
of course, right? That fits our brand.
How difficult is it to get your own beer? Do you just connect with a brewer and say, here's what we want to do? And then here's the brand and all that?
Our head of operations, a guy named Luke Kane, his background is as a executive chef. So culinary school, worked at a couple high-end St. Louis golf courses as the executive chef. And so when he started working for us, he really elevated our entire food program. And a lot of that comes with our private label program. So, picking out the beers, the soft drinks, the whatever we're doing private label, he's involved in. And then our branding guys are involved in like designing it and making it like cohesive.
It's great. You guys do such a good job with branding. It's one of the best I've seen.
Thanks.
The vibe, very nostalgia, American road trip, right?
It's American road trip. Yeah. And here are all of our soda dispensers. So we have 60 soda taps on flavor. And then another small touch our designers did is they went back and they designed all of the old 70s and 80s logos.
So they had to redesign it themselves.
They did it themselves.
Did you? I love that.
We did not ask for permission.
That was my question.
No.
But who's going to complain, right? That's
I mean,
awesome.
at one of our stores, the local, soft drink Coca-Cola guy was like, "Hey, I don't think you can do that." And we're like, "Okay." And then he never said anything again. So we just wait till the next time.
Yeah.
Our designers they were born in the wrong generation because
wow.
everything they do is, they just, it's really incredible. And then this is our Sloosh, which is our frozen drinks, which are really fun. And so we have 12 different flavors here. So this is obviously a very important part of the road trip journey is the restrooms.
So why is a huge bathroom like so important? Because this thing is massive. And It's really nicer than any travel center I've probably been in.
I mean, one is when we're busy and we're having 10, 15, maybe even 20,000 people in a day, we don't have a choice but to have these large bathrooms. And so on the men's side, we have 17 urinals and 11 private stalls. You'll notice on the private stalls, the door basically is a full covered door, except a foot at the bottom and the foot at the top. On the women's side, we have 22 women's stalls. Everyone goes to a baseball game. You see the men zip in and out, and the women are always stuck in a line. So we want to make sure that the person making the decision who to stop, which is typically, the mom or the the grandma.
Yeah.
They're focused on the bathroom. On this wall, we have all of our coffee, drip coffee. You'll see they're installing the nitro cold brews. All of that will be up there. Refreshments, iced teas. In our prepared food area, we have 3 of these, what I call interactive stations. And then we also have some back counter space. So the main star of the show is the Wally's Grill. And what I love about the way our food is prepared is we have chefs, right? So Lorenzo over there is a professional chef. You'll notice all of the chefs are in white chef coats because this is not a fast food. This is a much higher elevated experience. And part of that is all the preparation is done out in front of the guest. And so there's a 360 view. The guest can walk around the entire thing, and it creates food integrity. And so in order to operationally process as many people through as we do, you're grabbing it off a hot plate, but you're seeing the food be prepared. And so with so much of a focus on food quality and food integrity, this is what we love because we also have to do operational throughput, right, in order to process people. And so we have my favorite, which is the Wally dog, which is an all beef hot dog.
Oh, man.
It's sliced down the middle and then seared on both sides. Super simple, really good value item. We have our house-made chips where we're making them in-house. We have Italian beef. We have barbecue sandwiches. We have our smash burger. This is the cafe. This also will have all the cafe bakery items out. What we'll do also here is like all the cinnamon roll icing. So obviously it's baked in the back, but once again, just giving that elevated, here it's being made in front of you experience. We have ice cream.
All this stuff is baked on site.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to emphasize.
So we do not have a commissary, and we're 200 miles away from either sites. And so when you see the back house, it's insane. And then the other really big star of the show is our popcorn. So we have it all set up with the bins. In our other 2 stores, we had all the popcorn and all the caramelizer out front, and we couldn't keep up. And so when I show you the back house, we have a full-on popcorn room.
So the demand was more than you could.
The demand was probably the most sought after food item we have. And we have about 80 acres dedicated to us where we're growing our own popcorn seeds for us. And so those are the ones we use. Here's where we have all of our protein. We'll have jerky, summer sausage, meat sticks. All of that will kind of live here, which is a really obviously staple road trip.
That's like road food 101.
Road food 101. Here's the area where we call the canteen, which is, and honestly, we're doing a lot of new stuff here. chicken wings, tenders, different bowl options, as well as additional hot plates. And then because we aren't doing enough food, we also have a pizza area where all of the pizza is made in house. So we're bringing the flour in, and we're not taking frozen pizzas and just heating them up. It's really all done in house. And you'll see this area over here, and that's where all the pizza will be made.
Smash burgers, grilled cheese, really anything you would want.
What I always say, part of the problem at a store like this is not what to do, it's what not to do. Because we have a lot of creativity, and a basic business school class would say, create the Model T Ford in one color and just stamp them out.
Yeah.
And we did the exact opposite. So I must have missed that day of class. So
is there any seating, or is it all?
We don't, no seating.
So eat in the car. Okay.
Eat in the car. Yeah. Eat outside, take it back to your house. But for the amount of people we have through, it's just impossible.
Right.
This is our dedicated popcorn room.
Are you kidding? This
Not
is just
kidding.
popcorn.
This is just popcorn. So all of these machines we set up in their final resting spot, caramelizer. This is our prep kitchen. So there's a lot of training going on today. We can smell the cinnamon rolls. Here, we're going to cruise right through here, guys. Excuse us. So we have people from both stores that are here today, from our other stores helping train.
Makes sense.
And so a lot of newbies getting it figured out, all in chef coats. Everyone's, trained, food certified.
And you guys cook your own chips?
They're all sliced and fried here and seasoned.
All right. We're in everybody's way.
Yeah. And so now we get into the retail side of the store. Around the side, we have different departments. We have kids over here, and then we have home, men's, women's, camping. And then the center, centered around the Winnebago, is all the Wally's merch. So there's a lot of things that are, road trip adjacent. And there's a lot of things that this isn't sold at a Walmart, isn't sold at a Target. It's boutique-y, but also just unique, right? So you're on a trip, you're resting your legs, you have a chance to walk around. There's just fun stuff to see. This is our Wally's diorama.
Oh, wow.
And so we have our taxidermy versions of our mascots hanging out in just this, fun atmosphere, chilling at the lake. We have our drunk squirrel, the guitar playing raccoon, the cool fox, the bear, the Wally bear, who's our ringleader, and then our little turtle and chipmunk hanging out through there. So
you have a whole cast of cartoon characters, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did just your marketing team came up with that?
All in-house. We've never done anything outside.
It's so impressive. You've got an amazing team.
They are insane. It's really like next level stuff. Like every single thing. And as stuff gets put up, I mean, there's some really...
It's just like everything I see has Wally's on it. So wait, this is your main character. Is this Wally?
This is Wally Bear.
Clearly.
Yes.
Is this one, would you say, like, of the kids stuff, this is a big seller?
Absolutely, yeah. And so I think that's a big seller. The Navy trucker that I'm wearing is definitely a staple. There's so much stuff, right? And like all these t-shirts, right? So the Home of the Great American Road Trip.
Yes.
This is the Wally Bear and a Winnie, Take It Easy.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
And so we have these like little Wally Bear keychains, and just everything has got a very...
Yeah, it's like this keychain here. Let me grab this. Like this style of keychain, when I was a kid, was everywhere. And you don't see that anymore. So you guys are bringing it back.
We're bringing it back.
This. Oh yeah, the old motor
Howard Johnson.
Howard Johnson's key. Oh, I love it. Camp Wally Haha. So summer camp vibe too.
We had a very summer camp vibe, yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff like this. This was the change purse. The change purse.
Oh, I haven't seen one of these in a while either. Yeah, you guys really dug deep.
I mean, there's two guys that dug deep. The rest of us are just happy for them to be along for the ride. So yeah, there's the Wally stuff as it starts to come out is really fun.
Let's start with the first thing. Wally's is a travel center destination kind of different from anything I've seen. It's not a truck stop. So what is the decision behind, hey, this is for passengers, whereas I go to most travel centers, it's very trucker focused?
I think when you look at the segment of travel centers and convenience stores, there's over 150,000 convenience stores in the United States. And then when you get really and start digging, digging into it, drilling down into it, you have a subset of interstate stations that you have this explosion of trucker travel stops, the Pilots, the Loves, the Flying J's of the world. And they're great and they serve a demographic that is in high demand and need. But when you look at the experiences out there for the family traveler that offers all of the different things we have in our store, there's really just you know, a, a couple companies doing it. One, obviously, at a very large scale, does it extremely well on a rapid expansion. But we're very proud of what we're doing. We're 24 hours from opening, and there is a army of people here.
It's total insanity right
It's
now.
total insanity. The UPS driver who dropped off stuff a couple days ago brought in the stuff and says, "Wow, this place is great." He's like, "You opening like in the fall or whatever?" It was like, "No, we're opening in 2 days." And he looked at me and was like, "Okay, buddy, like
Good luck.
good luck." Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at, a Walmart a month before open, they're dialed in, right? They've got it all figured out. We're still, building the plane as we fly it. We do have 2 stores, and so we feel very confident that we will be in a position tomorrow to deliver the experience for our guest that they would expect. But it's going to be a long night.
You guys are working through the night?
Yeah.
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 So, let's go back in time. How did all of this start? Where was the generative idea for this amazing thing that you've built?
Yeah. So I grew up in a small town about an hour outside St. Louis, right next to my first cousin, Chad. And we went on a lot of family road trips and spent a lot of time in the car. And as life took us in different places, after college and grad school, I was an attorney in Chicago doing real estate law. And then I spent a long time and still continue to have a business doing industrial real estate. And so Chad and Chad has a very long background with his family in the C-store space. And so we were on a ski trip together and we were in the ski lift and was like, "Hey man, like Chicago to St. Louis is 4.5 hours. Like I'm a developer. I know how to do this." And obviously I didn't know how to do it. That's what developers say. I can, it's easy. It's just a building.
But Chad has background in C-stores, right?
Chad has backgrounds in
well,
C
that's
stores.
good.
That helped,
Yeah.
right? So like the fuel and a lot of the C store we were good on, but the food program, was a new experience for everyone. The retail experience was a new experience for everyone. And creating your own brand, right? Because a lot of times typical C stores are franchises of larger brands. And so there is a lot that we did that we figured out. But, I I I guess I've been an entrepreneur at heart, but I was, stuck in, the corporate world. And so there were a lot of different business ideas that I worked on. And, most of the times when you have a business idea, people tell you how bad of an idea it is and not to do it. And people kept telling me is like, "Hey, like you should look into this. Like, I think there's a need and a demand for this." And the analogy I always give, just having a real estate background, is every sector has a flight to quality. So you look at the office space, right? Everyone's down on office. COVID's making office go away. Well, if you build the best and nicest uh, tower in Chicago or New York or Houston, and it has the amenities, you'll get the tenants that you need. And I think our space is no different. And so it's a flight to quality. People are looking for the amenities. And the people that are really struggling, if you use the office analogy, are the people in the Class B, right, section of the world where they can't offer that.
Yeah. So, okay, let me take this analogy further. This idea of flight to quality. So, I live in the Indianapolis area. I drive to Chicago all the time. Now I'm driving and I'm saying, I'm not going to stop here because
Yeah.
I know there's a Wally's 20 minutes down, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's the plan, is to build the brand and have just people,
That's the reality.
kids hold it. I got to go to the bathroom. No, we're going to Wally's. It's 15 minutes away. It's worth the wait.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're trying to, that is what we're trying to achieve,
Yeah.
right? And like, site selection obviously is a huge component of that.
So
but-
how did you pick? So we're right off 65. We're in
Yeah.
Whitestown, Indiana. Tell me about this site and why you picked it.
Yeah, so our first store is between Chicago and St. Louis. Knowing the drive, it's actually kind of a midpoint. And since you're a real estate focused podcast, I was actually, the original idea was looking for opportunity zones. And so this was in 2019 when there was a ton of interest in opportunity zones. And so we drove down the I-55 corridor, and our first site in Pontiac was an opportunity zone. It was great. But as we started really looking at our expansion plans, you have to focus on the best real estate. And so our site in St. Louis was a very meaningful site for Chad and I. It was right off just outside the loop of St. Louis. It used to be an old Chrysler plant, and I mentioned we lived like 70 miles away. So it was a route that we took on a weekly basis. And so to build that as kind of our main corporate facility was extremely meaningful. And the first facility was 29,600 feet. Our second facility is 36,000 feet. And this store is 53,000 feet.
This is big.
It's huge. And so there's a combination of lessons learned. And going back to your question, it's about this site particular, right? So you have we're on 65 coming from Chicago. We're 22 miles northwest of the Indianapolis metro. We have the 485 that circles the city. And so for anyone that's moving to, to the east, to Dayton, Columbus, or to the south, to Nashville, Cincinnati, or to downtown Indy, or even going off to St. Louis, this is an incredible site. We put the site under contract 4 years ago. So I wouldn't say that I was smart enough to know that the Leap District, which is this technology heavy area where Meta's building a big data center, or the Eli Lilly, I don't even know what it is now, $21-30 billion campus was.
And so that's going to be right around here?
It's like 4 miles up the road.
Wow. And right where we're at, there's a lot of warehouses and distribution of names you would all recognize. There's a
Yes.
lot right around here.
And we love it. Our site in St. Louis is very similar because there's a ton of workers and second and third shift workers, and we have hot food prepared till, almost midnight, right? So right now whatever options they have are extremely limited.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, what we're providing is really amazing. But just to get back on the other little thing about the location, is really one of the hardest things about what we do with the amount of traffic is access. And so there was a brand new double diamond interchange. And so I'm sure some of your real estate people know, but it's called a diverging double diamond. And I'm not a civil engineer, but I've obviously gotten pretty proficient in it. And what it does is it allows people in both directions to exit and ingress and egress much faster than a typical intersection. Right? It kind of avoids a lot of the left-hand turns.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ability for someone from Chicago is, as you mentioned, right? Like if you're coming with your family, hey, I want to get food, but I need to use the restroom, but I also want to be quick, right? That allows us the ability to to get on and off. We also are spending, I mean, this site, we're spending almost $5 million on infrastructure improvements to make sure the access is what it needs to be. Um, and so the combination of those two things can be really challenging, but this site is just so dynamic. We couldn't be more pleased.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, let's talk about dwell time. You have existing locations, so you've got a good sense of how
Yeah.
long people spend here. How long is it compared to a visitor at a typical C store?
Yeah. I mean, your typical C store, I mean, people are usually in and out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
5 minutes.
yeah, you know, Bubba's looking for his Coke and his can of Copenhagen, and then he's out the door. And Bubba's our customer, right, as well as other people. But the store allows us to serve a lot of people. But in the morning, we have our construction workers, which they're amazing because they come in, they're regulars. They're it creates a very almost like regular type atmosphere. So that allows the the daily construction workers to get in and out really fast because that's what they want,
Yeah,
right? But if you're a family and you're looking for more of the experience and the ability to spend some time in the store, they're typically spending, upwards of 20 minutes on average. Uh, Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, but yeah, I think when people come and they start walking around and they come into our retail section, like, oh my gosh, I can get the Mother's Day present here, or whatever, the Thanksgiving or the Christmas presents. And I know for your listeners who are hearing that about a gas station with really cool gifts, like it's kind of hard to imagine, but it really is amazing. And our retail buyers and what they've done have just made it such a fun, engaging experience.
yeah. There's so much cool, unique, and branded stuff that I've never seen anywhere else. You guys have done a great job with that. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so something we haven't talked about is the gas angle.
Sure.
How many gas pumps do you have? And it looks like you got way more than is typical, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, your typical, gas station is going to have probably 8 to 10 fueling positions. Some of the larger ones will maybe have up to 16. Here we have 84 fueling positions,
Okay, just a few more.
just a few more. Um, we also uh, will have 20 electric charging stations. And just the same as our bathroom, we want to make sure that when you stop that you're not going to be waiting for fuel, you're not going to be waiting for charging, you're not going to be waiting for bathrooms. So, um, it's about convenience, right? And it's about making sure that on a busy travel weekend. I mean, you've been to the gas station where you're waiting in line, and then it just totally changes the experience. So
So you've got a bunch of fast chargers for EVs. If EVs continue to take up a larger share, is that going to impact your economics? Or for you, it's really about the visitor and what they do inside here, right?
yeah, I mean, we love EVs.
Yeah.
I mean, we're slammed at both of our stores really throughout the weekend and the weekend. Um, I think our experience is the best EV experience you can have. You have food, you have bathrooms, you have, you know, a retail section to spend 20, 30 minutes while you're charging. And listen, I mean, we're about the travel and the travel experience. So as the mode of transportation changes, we'll change with it.
Yeah.
But, I think that, you'll see, gas isn't going away for the foreseeable future. Demand is not going up, right? So you're not going to see an increase in demand, but there's still, I think, a long way to go, before, you know, people are transitioning gas stations to
Yeah.
EV stations. But I'm very aware of it, and we stay on top of it. And I think one of the things we do from the EV perspective is we make it convenient. So we have our first store in Pontiac. We actually had an EV canopy, right? So that the EV driver had the same experience as the fuel driver. And, you go to a lot of grocery stations where they have chargers, and I mean, it's like 5 football fields away where you're hiking. Ours is very accessible through
Yeah.
our retail entrance. So we we really want to focus on that and the traveler. And I do want to touch on, because you mentioned about the trucker, and I do think it's important, is the site is just not set up for the trucker and the 18-wheeler. And once again, the truck stops, they set up for them. They have locations for them to go, but the turn radiuses that are needed, we just don't have here. So,
Yeah.
it's like it's like going to an Asian restaurant and asking for a cheeseburger. It's just a different offering for a different clientele. And so, and I think that as people get used to and understand our brand, they'll figure that out. But that definitely is a source of confusion sometimes.
Yeah. So I know I'm feeling like I'm jumping the gun because this one we're still about to open. But what's next for you guys? Do you have more locations on the way?
Yeah. So we broke ground on our fourth site in Kansas City on the east side of the metro.
Okay.
And so we had the groundbreaking in April, and we're planning on opening late summer of 27. We hopefully we'll prepare a little better and maybe not be as crazy.
I mean, it's always
fun.
you always say that, and then stuff always
That's right.
pops up. So you're in. So would that be like around Independence, Missouri?
It is in Independence.
Okay,
Yeah.
I used to work around there.
So there was a Kmart at Nolan Road.
Yeah. Oh, I know Nolan
Road.
Road. Yep.
So we bought that Kmart. It's demolished. That's our site.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. How big is that one going to be?
It'll pretty much be a replica of this.
Okay.
So small tweaks, but I think right now it's around like 55,000.
So you're not of the idea that you have to keep going bigger every time. Like you're kind of good enough for now.
We're figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
So like at our first two stores, we way underbuilt our storage.
Yeah.
And so here, I don't know, maybe we overcorrected. I walked in 2 months ago and I was like, wow, we totally overcorrected. And then as you walk through it today, you're like, maybe we actually didn't build enough. So it's a thing that we consistently work through. And it is hard, right? I think one of the hardest parts about the location side of what we do is that it takes a really long time to build these. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse. The blessing is once you create these things, it's like a moat. It's really hard for someone to compete at the level that we're trying to beat. The curse is you're not putting up 50 Jimmy Johns in 12 months, right? Because it's a very specific, you're working with the DOTs, the counties, the states to do that. So as our next phase of growth, we're looking for the best locations that fit our brand. We're a Midwest brand. We're focused on the Midwest, and we're looking for really the best locations there are. And there's a lot of spots that hit the criteria: having a solid traffic count, having access, great visibility between major metros, having a population workforce, all the things that we're looking for. But we just think there's so many sites out there that fit, a Wally's.
Tell us about the Winnebago real quick. We've been sitting in front of a Winnebago this whole time, and I haven't even pointed it out. What's the feeling behind having a big Winnebago in your store?
Yeah. So as we look at our brand and this very vintage Americana that we kind of touched on earlier, our mad scientists that are the designers said, hey man, wouldn't it be super fun to have a real Winnebago in the store? Then you start talking to the construction people and they're like, I don't know, sprinkling and all this. And so we were able to figure it out. But what we did is we took a 1984 Winnebago Bravo and bought it, chopped up the sides, merchandised the side. This is our hat wall. I grew up in a family business in Missouri. We're in the hat business.
Oh, cool.
So we're strong on our hat game, as well as t-shirts, which is really fun.
You guys definitely go hard on hats.
Yes.
And they're all original. All your original designs.
All original.
So cool.
Yes. There is nothing with a Wally's name or logo on it that is not created by us, and us specifically working with the manufacturers to make it.
That's awesome. Michael Rubenstein, thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
And if you want to hear more interviews and retail insights, you can subscribe to Where We Buy on the iPhone podcast app We're on Spotify. You can find us on the web at WhereWeBuy.show. And our theme music is Run in the Night by the Good Lords under Creative Commons license. And that's a wrap.